Cambodia, formerly known as the Khmer Empire, is a Southeast Asian nation home to 6.5 million people. This country is widely known for housing one of the largest religious monuments in the world, the Angkor Wat. Located in Siem Reap, Cambodia, the name, which originated from the Khmer language, translates to Temple City. The Angkor Wat is a beautiful temple with complex features that represent Mount Meru, the home of the gods. Its 5 towers are intended to recreate the 5 peaks of Mount Meru, while the walls and moat below honor the surrounding mountain ranges and the sea. It measures 213 feet tall and 500 feet wide, taking up 400 acres of land. And it took nearly 30 years to construct. This temple was built by Emperor Severiman II, who ruled the region from 1113 to 1150. He wanted the temple to serve as the capital of the Khmer Empire, a political center for his empire, and a place dedicated to Hindu god Vishnu. Though it began as a Hindu temple, at the end of the 12th century it turned into a Buddhist temple. By the 13th century, this temple was no longer a site of political or cultural significance, but it remained important to Buddhists. This temple is no longer active, however. It is an important tourist attraction in Cambodia, despite it having some damage caused by the Khmer Rouge regime in the 1970s. Moreover, the Khmer Rouge regime, or Communist Party of Kampuchea, of the 1970s were responsible for carrying out the Cambodian genocide, which still greatly affects Cambodia's economy today. Cambodia is the second poorest Southeastern Asian country in the world and was categorized as a least developed country up until 2016. In 1975, the Khmer Rouge regime tortured and killed 1.7 to 2 million Cambodians during their 4-year reign to reach their goal of turning the country into an agriculture-based nation. The Rouge emptied out the cities and evacuated millions of people to labor camps where they were starved and abused. Everybody was a target. Doctors, educated people, monks, the rich, and even children and babies. Starvation served as an effective tool to dispose of people, but when it started to take long before the people died, they began executions. Survival was determined by one's ability to do work on the collective farms. This meant many of Cambodia's elderly, handicapped, ill, and children became targets due to their inability to undertake harsh manual labor. The Khmer Rouge created hundreds of killing fields, which were sites where millions of people were brutally killed and buried. Fortunately, this inhumane act ended on January 7, 1979, when Vietnam launched a full-scale invasion in Cambodia and Pol Pot was overthrown. The mass killings left the country with a disorganized age demographic. Because many of the older citizens were murdered, the country has been left with a very young population. 64% of the population is under the age of 40. This issue can be seen in a current problem that Cambodia is facing today. This year, Cambodia is facing major economic blows as the EU, or European Union, threatens to end a trade deal. The EU, a major trading partner, is investigating the government's deteriorating human rights records and considers revoking a special trading deal with the country. For 17 years, Cambodia has benefited from preferential access to the EU under a program called Everything But Arms, or EBA. It allows Cambodia, which is known to be a vulnerable developing country, to pay fewer or no duties on all their exports to the bloc, a combination of countries, except weapons and ammunition. This trading deal has contributed to a period of rapid economic growth in Cambodia, but Cambodia lacks focus on human and labor rights, which can eliminate their access. Cambodian people are worked to death with inadequate pay, horrible working conditions, long hours, and no safety within their job. The lack of human and labor rights are more overseen in the brick industry. In this industry, the people make the bricks that are used in making buildings and houses. They help the country's construction sector, but they get paid little to no money. It is also a physically dangerous job. And like I mentioned before, the demographic of Cambodia consists of people under the age of 40. So children are also forced to work in this industry because they have to help their guardians if they are over the age of 50 who can't do the hard physical labor, or if they are left with one parent. Many have died and got hurt. There is a legislation prohibiting child labor and forced labor that was just enacted, but it is not followed.
Can nâng bài đọc năm mà nâng mua rồi tên à nâng về Phật láng khẩu máu chui đất ếch hay nâng ba cái trạ đã ếch châu lò nhóm chạp pi thơ ca nên nâng à dụ bảy năm lấy à dụ phèn đọc.
Most workers make less than $1 an hour and work up to 16 hours a day. Life-threatening illnesses and amputated limbs are seen more and more in this industry because of the dangerous machinery used. Not much is being done by the government and Prime Minister Hun Sen to save their preferential access with the EU. Currently, their access is temporarily suspended, and if they don't act fast, in less than 6 months, their access will be revoked for good and they could lose millions of dollars that help their economy thrive. Lastly, if the problem with the EU is not enough to hurt their economy, climate change can also be a contributor. Towards the last few months of 2018, Cambodia has been facing major temperature changes that have made its way to 2019 and have greatly affected the lives of millions. Cambodia is mainly an agriculture-based nation because of the Khmer Rouge. The country is not specialized in any other major sector except agriculture. Majority of the Cambodians earn their living through farming, but climate change severely affected the work of the farmers last year and the beginning of this year. Rice production has fallen, money is being lost, and thousands of families are left without water. Temperatures are rising and the rains are no longer as regular as they once were. Cambodia has been ranked among the Southeastern Asian countries most vulnerable to climate change. Many Cambodians rely on agriculture. Climate change leads to droughts or floods, and both have a big impact on Cambodia's agricultural lands. Droughts and floods ruin the land for the crops to grow in. There has been a lack of rain in the current wet season of Cambodia, which typically arrives from May to October, but also a lack of rain in the dry season, November to April. This lack of rain has caused many people to struggle in producing any rice to sell. Rice is a major resource that helps Cambodia make its money. Rice production has fallen tremendously, which means people have to sell rice for a much lower price than they already do. A kilogram of rice is usually sold for 18 to 20 cents, but now it will sell for even lower. Workers are having a hard time making any money, just like this Cambodian woman.
I have not been able to produce enough rice this year because it has only rained twice. I'm 8 months pregnant and all the money I had for my wedding, I used so I could eat.
Also, the lack of rain has caused a water shortage for thousands of families. People must go to ponds or any water sources they can find to receive water for their daily needs. The lack of water in lakes and ponds have also affected the amount of fish in it. The number of fish is decreasing rapidly. There is no real solution being created to tackle this problem, but Prime Minister Hun Sen has asked farmers to only grow during the wet season and not the dry season because water needs to be conserved, and to limit crop production to only one. The people are mad at this request because growing during the dry season helps them earn a little more money to support their family. Thankfully, countries like China are helping Cambodia by providing the farmers with a new irrigation system to access water for their rice farms.